Hello and welcome to this How to Play Warhammer 40K 10th edition. I am Jordan and I'm joined here by the one, the only, the Wolf King, Aaron Kennedy. How you doing, bro?
Amazing, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm so excited to show everyone and tell everyone about the Space Wolves.
Yeah.
I played these guys throughout 8th. They were my first army.
Yeah.
And I sadly had to get rid of them. Too many armies.
Hey.
But I have been tasked with learning them,
Yeah.
getting them under control,
Yeah.
and getting them hopefully on stream for you.
Can I get a howl? Right, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done that now. That was really good. That was really good.
Well, a few things to mention before we go through rules and all that sweetness. So I wasn't just calling, well, I was calling you sweetness. Anyway, so massive thank you to Games Workshop, obviously, for providing us the index cards for us to be able to talk about this army and look into it in depth. And also, it is worth noting as well that this is going to be a lot of theory hammer on this one.
Yeah.
You haven't played these yet in 10th?
No, I've been focusing on a few other armies,
Yeah.
but like I say, I'm super excited to do this.
Yeah.
This will be a good one for us. This is kind of how we tend to get underneath new rules.
Well, you've come up with some cool combos.
Yeah.
You've had a chance to have a look over the index and obviously come up with what looks great. I mean, stuff you showed me looks pretty nasty. So yeah, obviously we'll run through it. But do you want to just tell me what the army rule is?
Army rule, yeah. So we're all going to be familiar with this. All Astartes get this one. Is the Oath of Moment.
Oh, legendary.
Absolutely cracking ability.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, in your command phase, you can choose one enemy unit, and for the rest of until your next command phase.
So next command phase,
you can reroll all hits,
and
all wounds.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Really.
Really good. And I think there's another interaction as well on that one.
Yeah. So basically, the unit you pick doesn't actually have to be on the board.
Yep.
It's just a unit in your opponent's army. So they could be in the transport. So if you plan to just pop open a transport and kill the unit inside, you could get oaths on the unit on the inside.
Yeah.
So there are some cool interactions with that, but it's a very powerful ability. But shall we run through the detachment?
Detachment rule. Yes.
So what is it?
Champions of Russ. Now this one is there's a lot of words on this page.
Cool.
So let's get reading.
Yeah, let's. You're reading, mate. I'm listening.
Right. So obviously, if your army is Astartes, then you can have this Champions of Russ detachment rule.
Nice.
You can include any Space Wolves unit, but it cannot include any Astartes unit drawn from any other chapter. So no Devastators, no Assault Marines, things like that.
Okay, cool.
But obviously, you get replacement units such as the Longfangs.
Yep.
And Wolf Guard and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
So you've got your own special units. You cannot include, tactical squad, assault squads, that sort of thing. So the main army rule for this is Deeds of the Saga.
Okay.
So at the end of the battle round, you can select one saga listed below. If that saga was completed by your army during the battle round, all Astartes models from your army gain the associated benefit until the end of the battle.
Okay.
So we're going to complete sagas by completing a deed, and you gain that benefit.
Okay.
And they all stack. If you complete multiple deeds, then they stack until the end of the battle.
Okay.
So let's dive into the first one. So there's 4 of these sagas, and we've got Saga of the Warriorborn. This saga is completed if one or more Astartes character models, and I'll say it for this first one, that applies to all of them. So you complete it when a character model completes the saga.
Cool.
And so this one, models from your army destroyed one or more enemy character models during the battle round. So if a character of yours
kills an enemy
character model during the battle,
right,
then that saga is complete.
Okay, and what's it get?
For all of them. So this one, benefit once completed, is melee weapons get sustained hits 1.
So, and that's army-wide you get this, right?
Army-wide, melee weapons sustained hits 1. So you got your exploding 6s, basically.
Okay, so Epic Challenge core stratagem works really well with this, right?
Yeah.
To give you precision with a character to kill another enemy character.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to be wanting to start to think about ways that your army can play this to score. To get.
So you're almost building into these sagas to try and complete them in a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be trying with these sagas to build your battle plan around completing it.
Okay.
Because they're quite situational.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Next one is Saga of Majesty.
Okay.
So this saga is completed if you control one or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of either player's turn during that battle round, and one or more Adeptus Astartes character models, like we said, from your army were within range of that marker.
Okay.
So this one's, I think, maybe a little bit easier to achieve than that first one. It's a lot less specific because you just got to control an objective in your enemy's deployment zone. And,
at the end of any turn.
yeah. So if you're playing quite aggressively, which you've got to be with Space Wolves, right?
Yep.
You're probably going to be able to score this. And that, for your entire army, is improve the objective control characteristic of models by 1.
Okay, right.
So your objective play, when you complete that, all of a sudden becomes a lot stronger for the rest of the battle. So I think
that's actually really nice. Getting an extra OC. I mean, when you look at things, maybe like your standard battle line stuff, which would be like OC2.
Yep.
Making it OC3. It's pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, you can, and especially if you do that and you maybe are able to stay alive on that objective as well. Like
yes.
All of a sudden you've got that OC3 when your opponent is trying to control it in their own turn. So I think there's some cool stuff around that, and it's slightly easier to achieve than the first one.
Yep.
Next one is Saga of the Bear. So again, character model from your army. If the unit was reduced to below half of their starting number of wounds during that battle round, but were not destroyed at the end of the battle round.
Right.
Models from your army have the Feel No Pain 6+ ability.
Okay, so this one's more dependent on your enemy damaging you and not wiping you out in one activation, right?
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that this isn't the character unit.
Okay.
This is the character model as well.
Oh, it's the character model.
Yeah, so
okay.
So let's just say, for example, I mean, Murderfang maybe, if someone shot at Murderfang, like did some wounds to it, and then like didn't kill him, then your entire unit gets
well, the army gets
the army gets 6 up Feel No Pain, which
that's handy. I mean, it's handy to have 6 up Feel No Pain if you're just activating it and the whole army gets it. I mean, on dreadnoughts, redemptors, because they -1 damage, so become damage 2 stuff become damage 1.
Yeah,
you do significantly reduce.
I'm thinking maybe Bjorn or something like that would be good, because he's not something that's super easy to kill in one turn.
Yeah.
So if someone chip damages that accidentally, then you could be choosing to put that on. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah. And then the final one of these is Saga the Beast Slayer.
Yeah.
This saga is completed if one or more Adeptus
Custodes, yeah?
I got Custodes on the brain, man.
Wrong army.
I'm not meta chasing, I promise.
Right, anyway.
Starting again. Right. This saga is completed if one or more Adeptus Astartes character models from your army destroyed one or more enemy monster or vehicle models during the battle round.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Melee weapons equipped by Astartes units across your army have got lethal hits.
Okay, right. So this is good against like knights.
Yeah.
Maybe something like Murderfang doing this.
Yeah.
I think Murderfang's actually. Obviously, we're going to come to it, but I'm seeing it all now.
I got Murderfang. I got Murderfang, and I got a couple of little spicy combos. I think that might be good as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we're trying to kill monsters and vehicles. Remember that. But yeah, that's all the rules.
Right.
They are very situational.
Yeah.
And I think there is. We're going to see what the rest of the enhancements and stratagems and things do to make this detachment work.
Yeah.
There is a big call for people to use Gladius.
Yeah, sure.
When we're playing this. But
we'll review that at the end, though.
Yeah.
Whether or not Gladius is worth it over this.
Yeah.
I mean, from what you've told me, it is one of those things where you're not getting an army rule up straight away, or a faction detachment rule, sorry, which obviously sucks. But I'm sure there are ways to play this, and we'll cover it, and we'll see how we can get the best out of this detachment from what's been given to us.
Exactly,
isn't it?
That's what we want. I really want to be able to play this detachment because there's Wolves.
It's really thematic. Like it's a really thematic rule. Competitively, that's the discussion. But
that's the end. That's the end discussion.
Exactly. But let's look at the rest of the army. So we'll go into enhancements next, and we'll see what they do.
Yeah, cool, nice one.
But before we continue, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, The Outpost. If you're looking for great deals on your miniatures, paints and gaming supplies, we've got you covered. Their wide variety of exceptional service makes them the go-to destination for all hobby needs. So don't wait, check out The Outpost today. Link in the description below.
All right, Aaron, so what are the enhancements that we've got for this detachment?
Cool. Right, so as normal, we've got 4 enhancements.
Cool.
And the first one is the Pelt of the Beowulf.
Ooh.
Sounds really cool, right?
Ooh.
Adeptus Astartes model only. At the start of the fight phase, each enemy unit within engagement range of the bearer must take a battle shock test.
Okay, right.
Right? So we had a little bit of a chat because we filmed the Blood Angels one just before this.
It's a very spicy rule, actually.
It can be really good. So think about things like fight first stratagems.
Yeah.
Lots of stratagems that go on, right?
Well, I know you got custodians on your brain, so
Exactly, right? Exactly. You were a first and foremost combat army, right?
Yeah.
If you can find counters to things like
Exactly.
fight firsts, you're really going to want to understand your army and be able to go into
Yeah,
that. So
I think just causing battle shock out of phase
yeah,
is extremely powerful and is going unnoticed, I think.
yeah,
Because you can potentially, I mean, we mentioned you can increase your OC by 3.
yep,
You could literally turn OC off with this,
yeah,
especially if it's in your opponent's charge phase and
yeah.
they fail their
Exactly.
check.
Again, we chatting with the Blood Angels just now.
Exactly.
We were sort of as a defensive ability, if your opponent charges you and fails a battle shock test
They are now battle shock for a whole turn.
for a whole turn, which means that they got no OC when you come to try and score on that objective.
Exactly.
So that's like
It's
essentially a really good
It's
enhancement,
very,
especially,
very spicy.
especially if you got the points.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Second one.
Second one, bit ominous.
Okay.
This one's called Black Death.
Oh, God.
I personally, I didn't think the Space Wolves were into plague, to be honest with you.
Well, that's giving me throwbacks to horrible histories. I loved horrible histories. Anyway,
Scratch and sniff.
yeah, scratch just.
Oh
God,
man, let's move on away from that fast.
Yes.
Okay, Adeptus Astartes models only.
Sorry, Adeptus Astartes models. Yeah.
Yeah. The bearer's melee weapons have the anti-monster 4+ and anti-vehicle 4+ abilities. That's pretty good, and I've got a cool combo that's going to come up with that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah,
I'll keep it in mind.
I got something fun coming
Yeah?
soon. Okay.
All right.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Right. The third one is Wolf Tail Talisman.
Okay.
Astartes model only. Each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic. Right.
Okay.
Let's think about where that can go. I mean, most, and this is actually quite important to note with the enhancements for these, is obviously we're a very epic hero heavy army.
Yes.
Most of the characters that we've got, apart from your Wolf Lords and things like that,
Yep.
are epic heroes. So you couldn't take these enhancements. I think it's a tough one, really. I'm not sure that will make it into my army from a points point of view, just because it's on the one model.
Yeah. I do think that maybe it has a bit of play with the the detachment rule, where you want your character to not fully die.
Yeah, yeah.
Putting that on will help kind of reduce the chances of him fully
great
dying
shout.
and actually gives him a bit more survivability, which could come in handy with that.
Yeah, great shout. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. What's the last one then, mate?
Final one is Frost Weapon.
Okay,
We all know that the Space Wolves love Frost weapons.
Yeah, they're a bit chilly.
Chilly.
Yeah,
Just chilling.
chilly. Red hot chili.
Astartes model only. The bearer's melee weapons have the precision ability, and the strength and armor penetration characteristics of these weapons are improved by 1.
I like this one
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
because what this is going to do is it's going to give you a chance to also achieve another one of your sagas,
Yeah.
which is a character killing another character.
Yeah.
And as I said, using the epic challenge, you would be spending a CP if you did that stratagem.
Yes.
Whereas spending this with points, you are not spending a CP to get precision on with your character.
And strength and AP by 1 as well. Like you think in Thunderhammers, AP2, go to AP3, devastating wounds.
Strength 9 with a Thunder Hammer then. I think that's pretty
good,
spicy. I like that.
Yeah, I like
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a really good one. Really good one.
So all in all, I think a good selection of enhancements.
Yeah.
Certainly stuff that I'm going to be looking to include, especially that one, the Black Death.
Yeah, the Black Death's really good. Really good, mate.
Right on.
Nice. All right. Well, shall we look at some stratagems?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it, man.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Colourforge, our fantastic sponsor. Their range of spray paints has become our go-to for making our miniatures come to life quickly and efficiently. The quality and variety of colours they offer are truly unmatched, providing a smooth application for stunning effects every time. Check out Colourforge for your next hobby project.
All right, Aaron, so what stratagems have we got with the detachment?
Right, so there are some really cool stratagems in here, and I think the one that I want to start with, it's not the first one, it's the second one on there. It's called Warrior Pride. And the reason that I want to start with this is, let's just read it out. For 1 CP, your command phase, 1 Adeptus Astartes character model from your army. Select 1 saga that is not yet being completed by your army. Until the end of the turn, models in your character's unit have the benefit of the selected saga as if it had been completed by your army.
Okay, right. So this is really important, actually, because we were saying that the detachment rule itself, you don't get the rules off the back, do you?
No.
So being able to unlock that, even for a CP, is really, really good.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, the reason I say this one first is because the rest of the stratagems, or at least some of them, have got extra components that you get benefits from if you're within a certain deed complete.
Okay, cool.
So obviously some of these cost 1, that costs 1 CP, and then with the Wolf Lord, you can, like as captains, you can have that free stratagem for CP. So you can stack those up, and it starts to play a little bit more into that detachment ability, basically.
Exactly. It's early game stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because preferably, the way you're going to be playing it in this detachment is hopefully getting some of those sagas kicking off, right? Yeah. So once you've got first turn or 2 and you're still trying to achieve it, you can pop these off and start getting the abilities straight away on the units that need it. Yeah, that's good. I think that's going to be used pretty often.
Pretty regularly, yeah, I definitely think so.
Cool. Next one.
So next one is Death Howl.
Cool.
So this is in the fight phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that destroyed 1 or more enemy units this phase.
Yep.
To the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a consolidation move, it can move 6 inches instead of 3.
Okay.
Provided your units end up in unit coherency and within engagement range.
Okay.
And this is the extra component. If the Saga of Majesty has been completed by your army, each enemy unit within 6 of your unit, when it ends that consolidation move, must take a battle shock test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
So let's just break this down again a little bit.
Yeah.
It's battle shock, lots of out of phase battle shock stuff that goes on, and some of it is more effective than others.
Yeah.
So it is in the fight phase, because it could be used in your opponent's fight phase.
So you could kill, your opponent could charge you, you could kill your opponent's unit, consolidate into another unit potentially, and then trigger it. Because it's not, okay, right, actually.
It's a little bit of a, this happens, then this happens, then this happens.
I jumped the gun there, yeah. That sounded good, but
I think that
that's going to have no effect in your turn, though.
Yeah, because you're effectively...
You're causing battle shock if they fail it, and then they go into their turn next.
Yeah.
They will auto, recover from battle
shock. It's a very small window that's going to apply.
Yeah. All right, cool. So the last bit really doesn't come into effect. It's niche, but still, consolidating 6
is very good.
We mentioned it in the Blood Angels one.
Yeah.
Because they have a similar strat, or the same strat. Being able to just tag a unit for an army that wants to be in combat is
good.
It's great.
Yeah, exactly. So next one is Relentless Assault.
Cool.
So your movement phase, just after an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army makes a fallback or advance move, that unit until the end of the turn is eligible to shoot even though it's fell back or advance this phase, right?
Okay.
If the Saga of the Warriorborn has been completed by your army, until the end of the turn, your unit is also eligible to declare a charge, okay?
Right.
So you see where I'm going with this. There are some advance and charge stuff, bits and pieces spat around, but if you pay, let's just say, 1 CP to do Warrior Pride and then 0 CP to do Relentless Assault, then you're firing an advance and charge on unit.
Yeah. No, that's really good. However, my counter to that would be in Gladius, you get that as a doctrine.
So it's in there already.
It's already baked into the army.
Once per game?
Once per game, army-wide, but you could pay a CP just to put them into it.
Right, okay.
So you could do the same thing, but you do get it for free.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's niche. It's good.
I
though.
think it's good.
It's good.
I think it's good. If you want to play,
If you're playing this detachment, yes,
it's
yes.
really good. I think advanced in charge of any Space Wolf is
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant.
yeah, and it's just an Adeptus Astartes unit, so you can fire it onto this guy, you can fire it onto this guy.
It gives you tactical flexibility.
Yeah,
Being able to control where your unit is rather than being stuck in combat and stuff,
exactly.
and not being restricted to falling back and not doing anything is really, really strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. Okay,
Nice.
well, what's the next one, mate?
We all know this one, Armor of Contempt.
Perfect. Love it. Right, fantastic one.
I think you've probably got more experience in this one than me.
Armor of Contempt, yeah, Armor of Contempt, I think, for any Space Marine faction, is an auto use pretty much in every turn your opponent's targeting you.
Yeah.
You will always kind of look at it, right, if your opponent's going to target some units, you can go, I need this unit to stay alive. They're going to have Armor of Contempt this turn.
Yeah.
-1 AP is fantastic, and it keeps your units alive a little bit longer, especially when you're in cover,
Yep.
because you can then reduce AP by 2 effectively. So it gets really important.
There is there's an important sort of rule interaction with that. Obviously, if you reduce it to AP 0
Yep.
with that,
Yep.
then you don't get better than a 3-up save.
No, you can never have better than a 3-up save from it. Like it's not a case of
If you stack with cover,
stacking
basically,
with cover.
so-
Yeah, it's just a way that if someone has AP2,
Yeah.
you could make it AP0 if
Exactly.
you are in cover with Armor of Contempt. That was my meaning. Thank you for clarifying.
Right.
5? Yeah,
Number
fifth one.
5. Yeah, go for the throat. Now this is proper wolfy, right? Fight phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase until the end of the phase. Improve the AP characteristic of melee weapons by 1. That's just the base ability.
Okay.
And then if Saga the Beast Slayer has been completed by your army into the end of the phase, such weapons have the lance ability as well.
Okay. Right. I like it.
Mm.
Again, it's
You're going to tell me there's Gladius.
it's
on it.
literally the same as the Gladius one. They have Honor the Chapter.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not trying to dissuade you from this.
No.
I'm just thinking of like
the comparisons.
the comparisons
basically.
between them both, because it's funny because they've worded it in a way that's a little bit different to it.
Yeah.
However, it's effectively the
It's
same.
exactly the same thing.
One of them. So the Gladius one, instead of obviously having a Saga, you just be in the Assault Doctrine and get an AP.
Got you.
Whereas this one, you get an AP, but if you are in the Saga, you then get Lance.
Yes.
So it's funny seeing the comparisons actually with this detachment.
A lot of crossover.
Yeah.
A lot of small tweaks and things
Yeah,
like that.
cool.
But
Cool. Still very, very powerful.
for this detachment, I think that's really strong.
You're
really,
going to be
really
using it
strong.
all the time, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lance is great, but the extra AP is actually probably the thing you want on a lot of things.
Especially if you think about the things like the Thunderwolves as well.
Yeah.
You got alien weapons -1 going up to -2.
We literally just spoke about Armor of Contempt. If your opponent plays Armor of Contempt, you can cancel it out with your own strat.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
love
Yeah,
it.
cool.
And the final one. This is your thematic. This is your. We're not a fan of Magnus.
Hey, he did everything wrong.
Yeah, let's not have that argument. So runic wards. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets.
Cool.
1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was selected. Until the end of the phase, models in this unit have the Feel No Pain 5+ agility against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. If the Saga of the Bear has been completed by your army until the end of the phase, 4+ Feel No Pain, 4+ Feel No Pain against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. So
yeah, this is I'm actually familiar with this one because in our battle report, which I'm going to plug right now, we did Space Wolves versus Thousand Suns.
Ah, nice.
And I have had this one drilled into my head because of the amount of times I had to edit it into the battle report. This thing it comes in clutch against Thousand Suns.
In that matchup, I've played against Thousand Suns, and some of the devastating wounds that are popping out is mad. So
that's nuts.
Very matchup specific, but
the Saga's actually difficult to achieve though, which is the only downside to that one. I think the Bear one's probably one of the hardest.
Yeah, so
if not
maybe
the hardest.
Maybe that's popping the stratagem.
Yeah, exactly. If you really wanted to survive, then you could double pop that strat, right?
Yeah, that would be done in your command phase. So
so you'd have to pop it. That's a bit niche.
Very niche.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still very good strat.
Yeah.
Very good strat. Nice.
That's all of them, all 6. So I think there's a good mix of strats. We're certainly not going to be not spending any CP, is probably what I'd say.
You've got an option for most situations, right?
Yeah.
It's going to enhance your army, which is what you want your strats to do.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a useless one.
No.
which is a positive. It's really, really good in that sense. But yeah, nice. All right. Well, shall we look at some combo wombos?
Combo wombos.
Let's do it.
With the release of Warhammer 40,000 10th edition, at Vanguard Tactics, we've put together the perfect course for you. If you're already playing 9th edition, but you want to seamlessly transition into the new edition, leave behind everything you know about 9th and understand everything you need to know about 10th, then this short course is going to be ideal. We break down all the complexities and give you step-by-step guidance on how to really make the most from 10th edition. We're going to help you understand all the basics of the game and then some top tips along the way to help you really get the most from your army and your playing experience. And if that's something you want to do and get signed up on our short course, which you can study in your own time, then do check out the links below and get signed up to our accelerator program.
Okay, dude. So what's the first unit you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I think it's fairly apparent. We've got quite a few of these on here. I'm a massive fan. I think spotlight unit of the Codex for me is the Thunderbolt Cavalry.
Okay.
I'm so happy about that because they have previously been like my favourite unit, especially from like 8th edition.
They're so cool, right? It's so wild. Like just looking at the model, like it's just a massive wolf that's literally like dwarfs normal people, right?
Like,
and a space marine riding it.
I'm not even going to try and think about the scale of that. It's probably the height, the size of this room or something silly.
It's
like that.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's so cool, so cool. But what is this combo wombo?
Combo wombo. Well, there's a whole bunch of characters, and I'm going to rattle through them. But let's just chat about the Thunderwolf Cavalry unit itself. So movement 10, toughness 6, 3 up save, 4 wounds, 6+ leadership, OC2. So fairly decent.
OC2.
Yeah, OC2 on that. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Decent.
Because then pop in the saga.
Yeah.
OC3 Thunderwolves. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's really punching on that.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
Ranged weapons we'll kind of gloss over. Bolt pistol, bolt gun, plasma pistols.
The standard weaponry. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
Melee weapons. So you got your heirloom weapons. So previously you had like thunderhammers and claws and all sorts of stuff going on.
These have all got power fists.
These have all got power fists. Everything is now an heirloom weapon.
Okay. What do they do?
So heirloom weapons is 4 attacks. Weapon skill 3, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. So
okay, so it's the same profile as a Vanguard vet in the Space Marine Index.
Exactly. So it's not lighting the world on fire until you add the ferocious charge ability.
Nice.
Each time this model, this unit makes a charge move until the end of that turn, add 1 to the damage characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit.
Okay.
So you get +1 damage on all of those attacks. So they're damage 2 now.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah.
On top of that, you've got Crushing Teeth and Claws, which is obviously the wolves themselves. Extra attacks, so you can use these in addition. 3 attacks, weapon skill 4, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. And they also will get that.
We'll get the benefit of the damage too.
Yeah.
The extra damage is really, really important.
Yeah, yeah.
There's ways of increasing AP, which is great.
Yep.
Ways of getting lance, which is great. So even though you haven't got the profile of a Thunderhammer, which cool, is a bit of a meh. But,
yeah, it's tough. It's tough losing that. But I think in this new edition, I think that is a decent profile, especially when we start to pair this with some of these these units.
What are these characters? What's leading them?
So, right, my favourite one, and we're going back to our enhancements.
Okay,
right? This is my little combo.
Tell me your wombo combo.
Right, Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf.
Sweet. What's this?
So same stat profile.
Cool.
I'm choosing the Thunderhammer with this guy.
Oh, so he can have the Thunderhammer.
He can have the Thunderhammer.
Sweet.
So we obviously know that that's got devastating wounds on it.
Here's our Wolf Lord.
Wolf Lord.
There we go. Cool.
So he's got devastating wounds. Okay.
Okay.
Add that 4+ the Black Death ability.
Yeah.
So for anti-monster and anti-vehicle 4+, we've got that dev wound on combo.
Right.
So any wound roll of a 4+ against those is
triggers devastating wounds, which then makes your mortal wounds damage output of 2.
Yeah.
And then when they charge,
they get +1.
So they become 3 damage.
So we got anti-vehicle monster, dev wounds, 3 damage Thunderhammers.
How many attacks did you say?
Thunderhammers 5 attacks hitting on a 3.
Oh my goodness! Right. And did you say as well one of the sagas was to destroy a monster and vehicle?
Yeah.
So
with a character.
With a character. So this guy is pretty much going to achieve you that.
He's definitely going for that. That's where you're running him at that, and you probably want to try and. I reckon he could do that solo, depending on the.
Well, you're unlocking lethal hits if you do that, aren't you?
Exactly.
Which is amazing, army wide.
Very
brilliant,
good. Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
I love that combo. That's fantastic.
I love it.
Nice.
Won't go through all the other like weapons and things like that, but he's got rights of battle, so that's our 0 CP.
Okay, perfect.
So use a stratagem for 0 CP.
Yep.
Can I use that once per battle round?
Yep.
And then Speed of the Hunter, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for this unit.
So these have now got +1 damage, +1 charge, and +1 advance.
Yes. And also we've got that advance and charge that we can throw in there.
Okay.
So these guys can move, yeah?
Yeah, they can. But I hope they can move.
Yeah. And then Relic Shield, the bearer has a wounds characteristic of 7, so you could up that wounds characteristic.
Perfect.
So yeah, I mean he obviously naturally goes with Thunderbolts.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a really spicy combo. Yeah, brilliant.
Now obviously he's really cool, but I'm not gonna lie, I want 3 units of these just because they're so cool.
Imagine it's like the Ride of the Rohirrim, but with wolves. Isn't it?
So I'm chucking loads of characters at this lot.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
So I've got a few different characters now. We obviously cannot have a Space Wolves how to play without Santa. I have seen this guy painted as Santa before. It's incredible.
Oh, dude, we need to get that as a studio model.
Yeah.
Santa Logan Grimnar, yeah?
Logan Grimnar on Storm Rider.
Nice.
Now,
What does the chapter master
wounds
do? 12
with this guy, and he can go with Thunderwolf cavalry units.
Cool.
So he's got the Axe and Mordecai, so one-handed and two-handed profiles. He's got attacks 10 with the sweep profile.
Yep.
So attacks 10, 2+, strength 6, -2, 1 damage. And I'm not going to take credit for this. Seb pointed this one out earlier.
Yep.
He obviously gets the +1
Damage when he's in the
Damage on
units,
the
it
unit,
becomes
so-
10 attacks with damage 2. Seb is a genius.
Let's have it,
I
Seb.
don't want to tell him to his face, but he's a
No.
genius.
Seb sat right over there and he's just grinning like a Cheshire cat. So yeah, and then the two-handed profile is strength 6, 2+ to hit. 6 attacks, 2+ to hit, strength 8, -2, 3 flat damage.
So it becomes flat 4 on a charge.
Good one. And then he's also got the flurry of teeth and claws, which is 6 attacks rather than the normal 3.
Nice.
He's got two wolves. He's not here, but he's got 2 wolves next to him.
Yeah. What's the name of the reindeers?
Is it Rudolph?
Rudolph's one.
Blitzen.
Blitzen. Prancer.
Yeah.
Dancer.
Mate, it's July. Come on.
Technomancer.
Oh, wow. Moving on swiftly. High King of Fenris is his first ability. Once per battle in your charge phase. This is awesome, by the way. In your charge phase, this model can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the turn, you can re-roll charge rolls made for Adeptus Astartes units from your army. So that's like all units. It's not an aura.
So every unit in your army gets reroll charges.
And every unit gets re-roll hits in melee.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty naughty.
Yeah.
Santa's gone on a naughty list.
Yeah. I mean, like when you start throwing sustained hits in there, lethal hits in there, like who needs Oath of Moments at that point?
Bags of coal. Sorry, I'll stop this.
Yeah, that's. Should we start writing your Christmas letters?
That's the Black Death. Is the bag of coal.
Yeah. And then finally, and this is really good as well. Each time, so the Great Wolf. Each time this model destroys an enemy unit, you gain 1 CP.
Well, that is just cheeky.
Yeah.
Mate, that's an early Christmas present.
Yeah, it is.
What
it
CP?
Is. I'll have a
CP Christmas present.
Yeah, let's have it.
CP.
Yeah,
we're coining it.
All right, let's do it. Can we just move on from this card? No, I don't. I'm not going to put him on my list anymore.
I just gained 1 Christmas present. All right, bro.
Let's go.
What's the next character, bro?
Harold Deathwolf. This guy again is awesome, and is probably going to end up on one of the units. Melee weapon. He's got the teeth and claws. Glacius, strength 6, attack 6, 2+ to hit, -2, 2 flat damage.
Cool.
So going up to 3 flat damage.
Yep.
Keeping this thing going. Lord of the Wolfkin. While this model is leading a unit, each time that unit makes a charge move until the end of that turn, crushing teeth and claws equipped by models in this unit have dev wounds.
Oh,
so the
dude.
extra attacks profile in that unit gets devastating wounds. Well, it's 2 damage each. I mean, across the unit is 6. What's that? 18.
18
attacks?
with damage 2, devastating wounds.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit cold in here.
Once per phase, when resolving an attack made against this model, after you make a saving throw for this model, you can change the damage characteristic to 0. So that's Mantle of the Troll King. So that's just his next ability.
Of the Troll King.
Mantle of the Troll King, yeah. 4+ involved save. So yeah, I think he goes in a unit personally.
Cool. I like the Troll King. Next one.
Wolfguard Battle Leader on Thunderwolf. So sort of same profiles as the Lord, but he's got only like 4 attacks on the Thunderhammer, so less attacks on that one. But he can go in a unit in addition to
a Lord.
The Lord, basically.
Oh, so you could have him and the Lord in the same unit.
Exactly.
What
yeah.
does he give the unit?
He gives the unit lethal hits.
Oh.
Pretty nice.
Okay. Cheeky. Nice.
I like it. Aggressive Hunter, once per battle in your opponent's shooting phase, after an enemy unit has finished making its attacks, if this model's unit was targeted by one or more of those attacks, this unit can make a normal move up to d6 inches. But must end that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, models of this unit can be moved into engagement range.
Okay, right. So there's a few things just to note. Let's just
pull it back.
Okay, right. So they wouldn't count as charging if you did that, though.
Nope.
So you wouldn't get the extra damage. But still, it means you could tie up a unit, prevent your opponent from charging another unit of yours.
Yeah.
It's like similar to the Berserker rule for the World Eaters, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you, it's just one of those things where it makes your opponent think twice on shooting the unit, especially on a unit that can run as fast as they can.
Yeah.
I mean, these dogs have got legs. They've got legs, guys. Paws.
Yeah.
They're fast, bro. That's what I'm trying to say.
They got paws. That's a very good ability. It falls into that category. There's a few abilities, and we're talking about this earlier actually. Of you probably want to let your opponent know that this is something you've got. You don't want a feel bad moment.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that causes your opponent.
It makes them think twice before they're going to do something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were saying about obviously there's a few abilities in the game where you kind of make your opponent aware of it.
And I also think if you set yourself up, so you could set yourself up within like close enough range to an enemy unit.
Yeah.
Obviously, you probably want to be charging them and stuff, but like if you're on an objective, it's almost like a defensive thing.
Yeah.
Right. So your opponent's not going to want to shoot you because they shoot you, and you will immediately put them into combat with something else and unshootable.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite a cool unit. Quite a cool ability.
I like that. Yeah.
Whether it's worth like the points, I don't know. That's kind of like a play and testing.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
exactly. We did say it was going to be a bit of theory hammer this, right?
Yeah,
so some of these things might work better or worse on the tabletop, but that does sound like a very useful ability.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
So there's a lot of Thunderwolves there.
Yeah, a lot of wolves.
Should we move on to something else?
Is it more wolf stuff?
I mean, he's pretty wolfy.
Is he wolfy?
Yeah.
Okay, what
do you think he is? So Murder Fang. So movement 8, toughness 9, 2 up save, 8 wounds, 6+ leadership, 0 OC. He doesn't care about objectives.
What nutter?
Yeah. Melee weapons, obviously the murder claws, these big long things that stick you. Twin linked. Twin linked, so they're re-rolling. Attack 8, strength 14, weapon skill 3, -2, 3 flat damage. He is chewing through stuff.
Well, he's scratching, not chewing.
Okay, I'll tell you. Yeah, you can have that. You can
cool.
have
that.
Thanks. Strength 14 though, like 14 twin linked.
Yeah, you are wounding every vehicle, well, everything in the game on a 3 up other than a monolith.
Pretty much, isn't it? Or a stomper.
Or a stomp. Yeah, stomper. Stomper 1 per
Casual 800 points.
What's his ability though?
Murder Maker, of course.
Hey, this guy needs to be locked up, man.
He's a bit of a
murder everywhere.
Yeah. Each time an enemy unit targets this model, after that unit is finished making its attacks, this model can either shoot as if at your shooting phase or fight as if at your fight phase.
Okay.
So we were chatting about this again earlier on.
Yeah.
Very important to note that in the fight phase, it specifically states that you can only fight once.
Yes.
So don't be going and trying. I know it doesn't state it on the ability.
Yeah.
But don't be going.
The core rules specifically state that you can only fight once per phase.
Yeah.
So, however, this does allow for some niche interactions. So let's say you remained in combat with something.
Yep.
And they shot you in the combat.
Yep.
You are then eligible to fight. because it says you fight as if it was your fight phase.
Exactly.
And you are within engagement range, so you are eligible to fight.
Yeah.
And it's a new phase, right?
Exactly.
So and also gives you a free interrupt in some situations.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah. So
cool.
so yeah, it works. Like it's a nice ability to have because it puts your opponent in a position where they have to think on whether or not they want to target him. Because sometimes you might just want to go, cool, I'm just going to shoot him and get myself out of combat. You do that, he's going to hit you.
Yeah, and he has got heavy flamer as well,
so he can just shoot his heavy flamer in the shooting phase if he gets shot.
Exactly.
Nice.
Nothing to be sniffed at. I like it. I think that time will tell as to his sort of survivability.
Yeah.
He is obviously he's got those murder claws, and they are wrecking anything that comes into combat with him. So any other army is going to be looking at that as quite a big threat. So
he's a beat stick, but he's vulnerable because he is I wouldn't say he's a big target. He's a bit of a toddler. But
I can't believe you're saying that.
He's a murder toddler, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still a target that's quite visible.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to stand out above a bunch of infantry, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's still cool, right?
Yeah. So let's look at our man Ragnar Blackmane.
Okay, Ragnar, I think, is the nicest model in the Space Wolf army.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
I love Ragnar's model.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Right, sorry, what does he do? I was just
distracted.
I got caught in his eyes. He has such beautiful eyes.
Gazing into his, yeah.
Oh, he hasn't even got his eyes painted. Anyway.
Get painted. So, movement 6, toughness 4, 3+, save, 5 wounds, 6+ leadership, OC 1. So just kind of like more standard Space Marine profile. Bolt pistol, and he's got Frostfang as melee weapon. We all know it. It's this gigantic chainsword. It is awesome.
Nothing on game SF.
No. Sustained hits 1, built into the weapon.
Nice.
Attacks 8, hit on 2, strength 6, -3, 2 damage. So decent profile. Warhowl, while this model is leading a unit, that unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced.
That's important.
Yes, very.
Advance and charge is amazing.
Love it. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Cross that bridge, like that extra D6 move.
Yeah.
And then to be able to charge off the back of that really can make the difference between a failed charge and standing out in the open.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Big fan of that. Especially if he's coming out of a transport with a bunch of units. Maybe you chuck him in a Land Raider. I'd love to chuck a Land Raider in.
Oh, I'd love to chuck a Land Raider.
With that assault ramp.
Right. Just throw a Land Raider.
I mean, if you chuck a Land Raider at all these beautiful models, I don't think Mike's going to be very happy.
I don't think Steve would be very happy.
No,
I wouldn't do that to these models.
Yeah.
Maybe if they were Tyranids. Anyway.
So the second ability is Battle Lust. Each time this model ends a charge move until the end of the turn, add 2 to the attacks and strength characteristic of this model's Frostfang. So 10 attacks at that point.
Brilliant.
Strength 7. So nice break point. I
really
like that.
Nice.
So
really nice.
That makes that wounding. Let's just say, for example, knights on 5s rather than 6s.
Yeah.
Custodians on 3s rather than 4s.
You do have the strat to get lance if you are if you've achieved the saga. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And what's he leading?
So he is leading Wolfguard, Bloodclaws, Grey Hunters, Assault Intercessors, Blade Guard Veterans, and Intercessor Squads. So good selection.
Yeah.
And we will talk about a few of those now.
Yeah, cool. So what's the first one?
Let's talk about Blade Guard Veterans.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about bringing them into your Blood Angels list.
Yeah.
I think they're a nice unit.
They're fantastic. I mean, Mark has painted these absolutely superbly.
Yeah. Beautiful
Brilliant.
models.
But yeah, they're a great all-rounder unit, right?
Yeah, and they've got this previously where they've had that kind of extra save built into their shield, +1 to save. They've got a couple of really cool abilities we'll get to in a second. So same profiles really as the other ones, but melee weapon, mastercrafted power weapon, 4 attacks, hit on a 3, strength 5, -2, 2 damage. So
nice.
Choose your targets right.
Yeah.
But
they're tearing through infantry.
Exactly. That's kind of what they're for, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Blade Guard, at the start of the fight phase, you can select one of the following abilities. You basically either re-roll hit rolls of 1, or each time an invulnerable save throw is made for models in this unit, re-roll a saving throw 1. So you've got a 4-up invul, re-rolling 1s.
Yeah.
I mean, you already know about this unit, but I think
that,
that's a good pairing up with him.
Yeah, definitely.
If anything, compared to the other units that he can go with, I think keeps him safer for longer. So he's hitting with Frostfang.
Well, I think just the fact, I think Blade Guard have that great versatility, which is amazing for combat armies. These guys are almost the creme de la creme of it. Like, do you know, I love that word.
You do, you say that a lot.
I think the Blade Guard literally standouts. They're cheap, so for 6 of them, it's 600 points.
Cheap. All right, mate.
Big spender, me.
Yeah.
No, they're 200 points for 6.
Yeah.
That's
good.
really cheap for 6 of these guys when they literally have the profiles they do. And yeah, great with Ragnar. Any other units?
Yeah, Blood Claws. We were talking about these before. So these guys come into, it's important to note, they come in units of 10 to 15.
Okay, so it's a big chunky unit.
It is, exactly. So same general profile, OC2 on that. They get the Astartes Chainsword, so the Strength 4 AP1.
Yeah, they're just a close combat.
Yeah, you can chuck some Power Fist in there, a couple of other free guns, grav guns, melter guns, that sort of thing.
Nice.
These guys get Berserk Charge. So each time this unit makes a charge move until the end of the turn, add 1 to the attacks and strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit.
Right. So this is the combo wombo we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
So paired with Ragnar, who also has the same ability, but he does it by 2 for himself, he would then get +3 attacks and strength, right?
Yeah, so strength 9, I think.
Strength 9 and 11 attacks. Was that right?
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah,
so he's putting out a lot of attacks, especially when you start thinking about maybe chucking on sustained or lethal.
Yeah.
With these
extra
units,
AP and lance.
You've got the Astartes Chainswords. You'll have 4 attacks, strength 5.
Yeah. And again, lance and the extra AP, so they become AP2 with +1 to wound.
Yeah.
5.
Putting out a lot of hurt.
That's
especially you've got a big unit.
That's spicy. That's I love it.
That's Salt Bay, right?
Salt Bay. Steve would be proud of him.
Yeah.
That was some big guns.
Oh, that was
just want to say that. Yeah. I was the template for the Astartes project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went back in time quite a while for that.
No, they took me as I am, and they was like, wow, that's a specimen.
I'll find you in did you get frozen in a tundra or something?
Yeah, basically Captain America. No, I'm not just creating personas here. Anyway,
you're Santa, you're Captain. Wow.
What do Grey Hunters do, dude?
Grey Hunters. Now, I don't necessarily think that these are here to pair with Ragnar, although they can do. For me, I've put the Grey Hunters in here because they come in units of 5, so they're a lot cheaper for that MSU style of play.
Okay.
I really like, 90 points for the unit, I believe it was.
And that's for 5 models.
5 models, which is pretty decent for the profile. Now, so let's say, what's that, 540? Don't quite
in terms of...
6 units. 6 units.
Yeah, it's about 540.
540?
Yeah, 540.
Chuck 3 rhinos on the table. You can chuck those units, those 6 units in 3 rhinos.
Yeah.
That's a really serious core to your army
that's
going to play the mission well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And their special ability, they've got all the other stuff, Astartes Chainsword and like the other ones, but this unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back or advanced. And this is why I'm saying objective. I think this is quite cool because you can do actions, let's say cleanse.
Yep, so you can build into a fixed secondary with cleanse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can advance, fall back and do actions and things like that. And I just think that's like a really cool, quite a cheap unit for...
Well, don't forget the rhinos could cleanse as well.
Yes.
So that's 3 units, well, 9 units.
9 units that are able to play the mission for you.
Yeah.
And when, I always say with the transports as well, like a rhino that's delivered its payload, it's 80 points that your opponent doesn't really want to shoot.
Yeah, because you've got to think about it in activations.
Yeah.
So your opponent then has to spend an activation to get rid of that rhino.
Exactly. And that rhino can then go and sit in a corner and do investigate signals, or it can get engaged on all fronts. Like, playing the mission is how you win these games.
Well, don't forget, you've got the Saga to increase your OC by 1.
Yeah.
That includes the Rhino. That includes these guys. These guys will go to OC 3.
Yeah.
So that 5-man squad is outscoring a knight, which is ludicrous. But it's really, really powerful because you could just chuck 5 onto an objective with a knight on and go, it's mine now.
It's mine. Yeah.
Mine.
So mine. I actually seriously think I might not go quite that heavy on them, but they're
even just
take
like
it real.
4 of them, like lower, take 2 of them out, you still going 4 of them is, I think it's actually quite a good unit just to put in and play the mission.
Exactly.
You can score one of the sagas with that as well by getting the backfield objective potentially.
Yeah.
You could rush it up there and do it. So
yeah, especially if you do OC, if you put the OC3 on by playing the CP.
you literally just rush it forward, bomb it forward, except they're going to die, but take it. Then at the end of the turn, your opponent hasn't got the objective. Cool, they'll die, but you've now got extra OC across the army. Big. Cool.
Think about that one. Yeah, definitely.
Next one.
Right, so let's just gloss over a few sort of topics. We've gone through quite a lot. I really like Bjorn, the foe-handed. I think he makes it into quite a few lists. He is fairly expensive on the points point of view, but the main reason I'm putting that in is because he's got that kind of once per battle after your opponent uses a stratagem, this model can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the battle, increase that stratagem's cost by 1 CP. So
that's huge.
That's a massive thing. We're talking about all these strats. Everyone has got little 1 CP strats that are like their go-to strats throughout the game. Core strats, exactly. You can do that, and you can also pair it with the Adeptus Assassin if you want to go down that route and be quite cheeky.
That's really cheeky.
So you're making 2 enemy units that, and the value of that is incredible, right?
Well, I mean, let's say you're playing against, I don't know, Knights, right?
Yeah.
The most annoying stratagem with Knights is Overwatch.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You could potentially turn Overwatch to CP3.
Exactly.
Because you could make it like cost 2 CP extra, right?
Yeah, possibly.
Is it out of phase? So what's the actual word?
This model, so once per battle, after your opponent uses a stratagem, this model can use this ability. If it does until the end of the battle, increase that stratagem's cost by 1.
So it doesn't say you
We'll come back to that. We'll just double check that.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's...
I'll put it in the comments.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the comments and then let you know what I find on that one. Cool.
Yeah, brilliant. Nice one. Cool. So that's Bjorn.
Yeah.
We need to touch on Wolfen, I think.
Yeah.
I love Wolfen. I think they're really cool models. I think they have taken the same effect as maybe the Sanguinary Guard had before.
I think they've been hit a bit worse than Vanguard. I might be crying in the corner with the Vanguard, mate.
Yeah, they've been hit.
These guys are null and void, I think.
Sadly, for now, yeah, I think you're possibly right. So movement 8, toughness 5, 4+ save, 2 wounds, leadership 6, OC 0. They got their Stormfrag auto launcher, which is assault and blast. Actually, that's like in itself, that's pretty cool. So it's range 12, D6 attacks, hitting on a 5, strength 4, so no.
Okay, right. Clutching at straws.
Yeah, a little bit. Sadly.
Yeah.
They've been replaced by these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Wolf and claws and melee weapons, attack 6, hitting on a 3, strength 5, -1 damage. And then the Wolf and Hammer. This is the one that I was mostly sad about because obviously we had Thunder Hammers before. Wolf and Hammer is now attacks 4, strength 5, weapon skill 3, -1 damage.
So it's an heirloom weapon.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, heirloom weapon. Feel no pain 6+, then death frenzy. So you got your fight on death on a 4+.
Okay, so it's not even an inbuilt fight on death.
Yeah, each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6 and a 4+. Do not remove it from play. Fight.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's sad to see that they're not out here like as a focus unit, but I think hopefully they get their time to shine when they get their codex.
Yeah.
As of right now, they're just going to be have to put on the shelf for the moment.
A little bit sad, but hey.
They'll get their time to shine, hopefully, but for now, just put them on your shelf.
Yeah.
And then just stack your list full of Thunderwolves because they are awesome.
Thunderwolves are great.
Yeah.
And then the final one is just Hounds of Mordecai. I wanted to raise these because, again, the Magnus effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these guys have got Mordecai Combat Knife, Anti-Psycho 4+, Devastating Wounds, and Precision.
So these guys are just stabbing psychers.
Stabbing psychers, absolutely.
Psyker assassins.
4 attacks, in on a 3, strength 4, 0 AP, 1 damage. It is precision, so you can target out characters out of units, which is quite cool. And obviously, that does apply to character units. If a unit attaches, a character attaches to a unit, that unit
they then become psyker keywords. Yeah, cool.
So you got that. They got Scout 6.
Okay, cool.
And then another ability, but
the main reason is obviously the anti-psyker stuff. It's cool, it's a niche unit, but it could come in handy. I mean, they could even just be there in the army because they look cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, I mean, overall, like I'm really excited to just get these on the table and play them. To be honest with you.
Test out some theories.
Yeah. I think Thunderwolves, like I say, I'm going to get some more. I think we got 12. I want another 6, frankly.
Yeah, sure.
Some of these, that was another really good one. And obviously, this applies to most Space Marine units.
Yeah.
But you got your Oath of Moments.
Yeah.
Onslaught Gatling cannons. I found this out last night. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
When you're re-rolling all those wounds and you're getting devastating wounds with
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Very nice. Long Fangs, obviously, that's basically Desolators.
Devastators.
Devastators, that's the one.
Desolations, oh God.
Something like that. So obviously, these are really cool. I like the grav cannons on these.
Yeah.
Because you got that anti-vehicle 2+.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
flat 3 damage.
Yeah, strength 6, -1, flat 3 damage.
Yeah. I personally think they work better with Gladius.
Yeah.
I know I'm an advocate for the Gladius here, but I think they personally work better because of one of the strats, Storm of Fire.
Yeah.
Which gives you ignores cover and an extra AP in the dev dock, which obviously increases their AP, which is great. But I still think, as you said, they fill a role in the army which you don't necessarily specialise in.
Yeah.
So good shout. Maybe in the drop pod.
Yeah, I think in the drop pod would be good. So I think it's good to compare that.
So Gladius and thingy, I think it's safe to say, right, that this isn't a strong detachment, right? It's probably the weakest out there. In my opinion, I would say it's probably the weakest detachment.
Okay, yeah.
But I do think that there are ways to make it work.
Yeah.
I think if you are that way inclined, you could make it work, and it's thematic, right? It's not out here to be the most competitive.
Yeah.
If you wanted to play Space Wolves and achieve sagas and fight the way a Space Wolf would, and literally go out and hunting people and trying to make your own tales, that is going to work, right?
Yeah, and I think it's also very important to say, like, you might not be going out and winning GTs and stuff with that specific detachment, or you might play really well, and there's some really amazing Space Wolves players that could probably go out and do that. But you can really play this. We've seen some really cool combinations. We've seen some really cool ways of playing this and tweaking your list. And I think there's a lot of mileage in getting the most out of it. For me, that is skewing into the Thunderwolves, which I'm more than happy to do. Yeah. Because I just love the unit.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of cool, the synergies between the strats and the sagas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to actually manipulate it to work in your favour.
Yeah, and I really enjoy that way of playing as well. Yeah. I like that.
It's making you think more than it is just giving you something. Whereas Gladius gives you stuff straight off the back.
Yeah.
And Gladius is great as an overall. Yeah. It works well in every department. Yeah. Which is why I think a lot of Space Marine factions are preferring it to their own.
Yes.
Because it gives you the ability to work the army with missions, with how you want to play it. Yeah. Whereas this is working obviously in a specific direction. But it's playable, but it's just not, unfortunately, up to the standard of.
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with playing Gladius as well. Like, you've been given 2 detachments. Yeah. Play with them.
Yeah. Test them.
Test them out. Keep playing. I think what might be really cool, I've got all ideas of grandeur in my head. If we could do a battle report maybe on our main YouTube channel, featuring this.
Yeah, sure.
And then maybe on the members we could do one featuring Gladius, the same sort of battle. Yeah, see how it goes. That might be a good little thing
definitely.
We could do. Let us know, guys, in the comments if that's something you'd like to see.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I think I think the best thing to do when you at the minute, 10th edition, I think is going to advocate this. I think that's the word, advocate. It's going to, when more detachments start coming out with your codexes, you're going to start to see multiple ways of playing a faction, right? Yeah. So at the minute, most armies are locked to one. Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, we've all got 2 ways of playing. So it gives you ways of testing it. Just repetition, see how it goes for you. And obviously, as you said, let us know in the comments and we'll get some on battle reports eventually. But most important question, I think, how do they play the mission? Would you rather tactical or fixed? If we're going into the Sons of Rust detachment.
I think that I would play tactical.
Yeah.
And that is based on me taking those Grey Hunters. I think they've got a lot of play, quite cheap for what they're able to do.
Yeah, sure.
Go out there, especially if you've got OC3 kicking in there as well. So I think, tactical from that point of view. However, much like the Blood Angels, I think if your opponent has got like a lot of characters in there, the right unit choices that will benefit you from just playing aggressively, getting into combat, overwhelming the board, then by all means go for it.
Yeah, sure. This is like, so you were saying about the Grey Hunters.
Yep.
So if you take in those units, maybe Cleanse is a good shout for fixed. If your opponent only has like 8 characters, go for that and Cleanse, and you've got 2 solid fixed there.
Awesome.
I think there are ways of making it very versatile, right?
Absolutely.
So that's fantastic, and thank you for your time, man, and thank you for letting us know how to maybe find some combos in this army and making it work. I look forward to seeing how it turns out and how this Thunderwolf charge kind of happens.
I'm excited. I really want to get these.
I'm excited to see the Space Wolves in action. And obviously, guys, let us know what you think. Let us know anything that you have found, maybe your results with Gladius or the Sons of Rust detachment. Let's try and find some positive ways of making this work, right?
100%. It's doable. It really is. You just got to play with it. And just get the most out of it.
Exactly. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in a video very soon. Hello, and welcome to this How to Play Warhammer 40K 10th edition. I'm Jordan, and I'm joined here by the one, the only, the Wolf King, Aaron Kennedy.
Wow.
How you
what an
doing,
intro. Bro? Yeah, really good. Really would.
Really would, yeah?
Really would.
Really would.
Let's go straight into bloopers again, isn't it?